Welcome to Zugimpex and to our video about company formation in Malta. In a few minutes, we show you all you need to know: the advantages of a company in Malta, how to register it, costs, compliance, how to plan the right structure, and what are the next steps. Zugimpex provides professional services and runs offices in Switzerland, Malta and Slovakia since 15 years with a team of 12 academics, several specialized employees and some external partners. Besides extensive knowledge, our companies are known for short response times, professional solutions, efficient operations, transparent billing and a friendly relation to customers.
What are advantages of a company in Malta?
Customers with a company in Malta enjoy many advantages. Malta has a sunny climate, good ICT connections, and a low effective tax rate. People feel welcome. And the island is convenient, English is official language. The country is member of the EU and the Schengen area. And the euro is national currency. There are many scheduled direct flights. The country is small and has many cheap taxis. They are quickly available, so it is easy to move around. As a top tourism destination in the Mediterranean Sea, the country offers plenty of hotels, apartments for short-term let, restaurants, bars, culture and of course lot of entertainment. But there is also vibrating business. Many small towns in Malta have grown together and form a mid-sized city with over 400,000 people. The area has a diversified economy, and many sectors develop constantly. In Malta you find a qualified workforce, because half of foreigners are graduates. While the EU has a legal limit for maximum working hours per week, in Malta this limit is just connected to one single job. So it is not too difficult to find citizens of EU, EEA and Switzerland who work full-time and want to earn some additional money in a second job.
What information is required to register a company in Malta?
The registration can be done remote, and only little information is needed from the client. The name. The activities, please note it is mandatory to define one main activity. The place of the company, we recommend using one of the business centers. The name, birthdate, address and nationality of shareholders or the data of a holding. The name, birthdate, address and nationality of the director and the secretary, in most cases this can be the same person. Setting up a company in Malta is easier than most people think, especially with expert guidance. Book your free 20-minute consultation with an expert from Zugimpex and get started. Click the link in the description below.
How is the company formation process?
The process is rather simple. Most customers form a limited liability company with a holding in Malta or abroad. So they can submit a consolidated tax return and pay just 5% corporate income tax. We have to receive an order, then we are obliged to start with compliance, before we can confirm the order and write a small invoice for prepayment. As soon as the payment arrives and we have the requested information, we prepare the documentation. As a licensed service provider, we can use the online system of the Malta Business Registry. There, the memorandum and articles of association plus some additional documents will be created. Then we send an email with the documents. The customer only needs to print, sign, scan and send the originals back together with a legalized signature and a legalized copy of his passport. If the customer is abroad, there is often a need for an apostille. When the documents arrive, we upload the files to the Malta Business Registry. Sometimes, the officers require specifications or minor changes, which we will arrange. A few days later, the company is registered.
How much costs a company in Malta?
To register a company usually costs €900 for a service provider, plus additional costs for the place and for the fees of the Malta Business Registry. We want to mention here that there is a huge administrative burden for our license required by the authorities. This costs our company around €900 for every company formed, so we offer company formation in fact for free. Minimum paid in capital is just around €240. Ongoing costs for services and for accounting depend on the amount of work, starting with around €2,000 per year. However, please also calculate at least €3,650 costs for the place, for the auditor and for a simple holding. The setup process is simpler than most people expect, and we're here to help you. Book your free 20-minute consultation with a Zugimpex expert and find out how we build your setup. Click the link in the description below. So, the total costs of a company in Malta are rarely below €5,650 per year, and this amount is far higher than in other destinations where no audit and no holding is needed. On the other hand, taxes are lower. If planned annual profits are lower than €60,000, a destination with 10% tax, without audit and without holding is recommended, and if sustainable profits are higher than €100,000 per year, Malta is a good choice. In addition, we recommend a company in Malta to EU citizens who live in Malta or move to Malta.
What is required for compliance?
Malta has extensive requirements for compliance, and authorities act in an unusual aggressive way. The amount of paperwork and time required per year is at least 5 times the EU average. The authorities require from all service providers to collect the following information and to create the relevant documentation before accepting an order. To meet and identify customers in person or by a video call. To collect identification documents and proof of residence. To fill in the beneficial owner form. To know the existing activities of the involved parties, their source of funds and their source of wealth. To collect information about planned activities and fill in the KYC form. To collect signatures that the persons are no politically exposed persons, are not involved in bankruptcies, and that they are not citizens or residents of countries excluded in our internal procedures. For example, we do not provide services to citizens or residents of the USA, because of their highest incarceration rate worldwide. Also, we have to make online checks. And we must make a risk assessment with geographic risk, customer risk, interface risk, and service risk.
How to plan the right company structure?
First, let us look at the taxation system. The Maltese company pays 35% tax, and if the company is owned by foreign shareholders or a foreign company, there is 30% refund. Alternatively, a consolidated tax return is possible to save liquidity and to only pay 5%. Outgoing dividends are not taxed in Malta. A good company structure is key to long-term success. Book your free 20-minute consultation with an expert at Zugimpex and let us tailor the right setup for your situation. Click the link in the description below. The company structure depends on your situation. If you plan to reside in Malta, you therefore need a foreign holding. So your company pays only 5% tax, and because of the imputation principle, the profit can be remitted from the holding to Malta tax-free. If you reside in a country outside Malta that does not tax dividends, you need a holding only if you want to benefit from the consolidated tax return. However, you can avoid the costs of the holding and wait for the 30% refund. If you reside in a country outside Malta that does tax dividends, you need a holding in Malta or outside Malta to benefit from the consolidated tax return. A holding in Malta needs audit, a holding outside Malta is often cheaper. On the other hand, the costs to register a Maltese holding for the consolidated tax return may be lower than the costs to use a foreign holding. The holding should have some substance and reinvest the funds. Do not use the profits private, because your country of residence will tax it. If you have a company with retained earnings in the EU, it may be possible to benefit from the EU Mobility Directive. First, shareholders move to Malta. Second, redomicile the company to Malta. And third, pay dividends tax-free to the shareholders. Foreign-held partnerships and foreign companies with management and control in Malta may also benefit from the territorial system of the Maltese tax law. Please note, in the planning process, it is important to structure the activities in the home country and to avoid exit taxation.
What are the next steps?
First of all, thank you for watching this video. If the information was useful, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Regarding the next steps, please analyze your situation and verify if you have enough sustainable profit. As soon as you are sure, do not hesitate, but contact Zugimpex to start.